Oh, let me see. Am I on?
Oh, there we go. Okay, I hear you now, George. George, can you hear me?
Nope.
You can't.
Not today.
You're so ignorant.
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 Your little thing just popped up.
Excuse me? We're live. I don't think you're talking to me, but when you talk about my little thing just popping up, I think you got guessed.
Yeah. I got guess. Yes. Your little thing just popped up. Just the notice about we being on tonight. So just popped up. That's what I was saying.
And we're late, and we're very behind. So we're having
let's start
technical
talking.
issues.
I'm sorry, I'm late. We had technical issues. You know, I couldn't. I'm trying to keep up with J. Anthony Brown. I'm actually early compared to his time.
Wow. Wow. So, hi everybody. Happy Friday to you. It's our Friday, Friday Eve, and here we are with what you need to know. Every Thursday is George Wallace Day, and we welcome him back. How you doing, George?
I feel good all over. It's fun day. You just said it's Friday. I'm going like, is it? Because I don't know what day it is anymore. You know,
I know.
everything is so crazy.
Everybody says that,
but it's good. It's a great day, and it's good to be with you. And you're looking good. Look up.
You're very kind. You're very kind. Wow. George Wallace is the author. I'm getting all my notes off of here.
A bull twit. That's bull twit and whatnot. Things I'll straight up do. You know, like I'll start a picnic on a poker table, and I'll play poker on a picnic table. I don't care. Okay, I'll do things like that. I'm just crazy. Okay.
And whatnot.
And whatnot, which is the most important word. I want you to get that book. It's for people that think and do read. If you tweet, follow me at Mr. George Wallace, at Mr. George Wallace, and we'll have some fun. Once again, we try to make you pee a little bit from your eye. You keep laughing in your life, and I'll tell you what, you'll live longer.
That's funny. Pee a little bit from your eye. Okay, so George, we are awaiting our guest. You have invited one Mr. Bubba Knight to join us.
And he's coming on. I think he's been trying to get on, so we're having technical difficulties, as the white people would say.
We say it as black folks too.
Something wrong. That's what black people say.
Is that right?
Something wrong. Junior, come in here, help me fix this thing. Come in here, help me fix. That's what black people would say. Yeah.
I say something wrong.
Something wrong.
It's all up. So we're awaiting him, but there's some difficulties on all sides of us today. So we're just glad that you and I.
I'm good, except me. I got all my crackles on a barrel.
George, you're wearing a different shirt today. You got different colors. You were early. What's going on?
Oh my God. I forgot my jacket. Somebody said, please don't wear They said, please don't wear that purple jacket. Oh my God, I forgot my jacket.
Well, you've been alternating of late.
Well, only just one jacket. Well, maybe twice, yeah. I wear it just because I want people to say, does he always have to wear that purple jacket? Nobody said anything to Prince when he came out.
George, you're not Prince. I'm sorry. You're a prince of a guy, but you're not Prince.
And my ass is 3 times bigger too. So.
Well, I'm not sure about the size, but okay.
Well, I'm telling you.
Did you ever notice on Saturday Night Live that the weekend news update guys always wore the same suit setup, same jacket?
No, I did not know that. Really?
Tie and shirt. Yeah.
Colin and shirt? Yeah.
For an entire season. I don't know if it's true this season. I haven't made note of it, but yeah, they for the entire season they will wear the same thing. And I guess why do you have to change?
Well, I guess that's the set. They want everything to stay the same with
for 15 minutes work, if that. Yeah.
Right.
You know,
let me ask you a question, because we're black and I've been working all my life. I never got a chance to actually really enjoy Saturday Night Live. Only enjoyed it when Eddie Murphy is on. Somebody black. David Chappelle. Yeah, like that. It has never been. I could get in trouble for saying this. It's a different type humor for me. Let me put it like that. How many of you out there do watch Saturday Night Live every week? Some people just love it. I just, it's my cup of tea, but I don't put any sugar in it. Okay. So, but
I don't know what that means. I understand it's my cup of tea. I don't understand the addition of any sugar.
Well, don't you put sugar in your tea?
Sometimes sweet and low.
You don't put sugar in your tea? What, when you go to Chick-fil-A, you don't get sweet tea? Black people have to have sugar in their tea. You don't go to Chick-fil-A?
No.
I went to Popeyes today. What is
going
on with the chicken sandwiches, Sybil? Everybody has a new chicken sandwich now.
Yeah.
Churches has a chicken sandwich. Wendy's has a new chicken.
Chick-fil-A has their new chicken sandwich. McDonald's has it.
McDonald's
you name it.
Today. Yeah.
Whataburger, I think, has a chicken sandwich.
Whataburger. That's a location in Texas. You guys don't know about it.
It's all over. Whataburger's around the country in a number of places, but
really,
they're moving on up.
Okay, maybe I better buy some stock in that. I bought some stock in El Pollo Loco.
I bet you did. You will always buy some stock and some chicken.
Chicken is the #1 industry in the world. I'm trying to tell you, you can't go wrong with chicken wherever you go. You can go to China, they still cooking chicken. I don't care where you go, chicken is there.
Are we sure it's chicken?
No, chicken is the #1.
I mean in China. Are we sure that's chicken they're cooking?
It tastes like chicken to me. I'll tell you that. I've been there many a time and I love it. I love it. Of course, I eat at McDonald's in China, but so.
So we're talking about Saturday Night Live because I'm really curious where you were going with this.
I was just talking about it's just not my cup of tea for comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forever, or have you grown out of it? Because a lot of people say they've grown out of the humor.
I was there when it first started, and then they didn't like us. The comedic actors didn't like us when we started back in 1976 when the show first started, and because they thought they were funnier than we, and we didn't like them because we went to the stage and hit it hard every night. So they were mostly comedic actors and come from the Second City and places like that, and so we just never hit it off. Plus, I've been on stage all my life, every night for 45 years, so I didn't, especially around midnight, I never got to watch it that much.
Right.
I know it's a great show, but it was not my cup of tea. I don't know about you. That's why I was asking, because I know you.
I came of age with Saturday Night Live, so yeah, I grew up watching it, and you're honest,
Chicago. There was a lot of people from Second City.
Oh yeah. Jim Belushi and John Belushi, I should say. Jim Belushi, his younger pretend brother. Not as funny. And all of them, many of them came out of Second City, out of Canada, or Second City out of Chicago. So
yes.
But
it's a great show and great people.
And well, it can be. I mean, there have been seasons. There have been, long droughts for Saturday Night Live. But
anytime Eddie shows up, shows up, I'm there. That's good.
Of course.
Yeah.
So George, we're talking in the. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. This weekend we had a guy on a black guy from the Bridgerton. What is it called?
Oh, Bridgerton. Yeah, Renee. Red Jean. I can't remember, but he's very good in Bridgerton. He's very, very good. He was also in the movie Sylvie's Love with Kerry Washington's husband, and he played one of his bandmates. And Nnamdi Asomugha, I think. But
you said that word 2 nights ago. Didn't you say that word 2 nights ago? Nnamdi Asomugha, somebody's name.
But that was his movie, and he produced it and starred in it. And Tessa Thompson. So and he played the English gentleman played his bandmate, and is really good in that one too.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
They love him.
Speaking of movies and the nominations are out, I'm sure you saw Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, did you not?
Yes.
Did you enjoy the actress?
I did, but more so, I think anything that Viola Davis does is brilliant, and of course it was the last performance of Chadwick Boseman. So and this weekend is the Golden Globes, and no Black people are nominated. and there was an article in the LA Times this week about the fact that there are no Black members of the Hollywood Foreign Press. And that accounts for the fact that there are usually very few nominations for Black folks. And in this case, they're pretty absent.
Now, last year we did pretty good, right? Last year we did pretty good.
I don't remember.
Isn't that amazing? You don't even remember. Plus, don't remember. I don't know half the movies that get nominated, to be honest. I'm just going to tell you the truth.
And this year is different. I mean, because it shouldn't be, because we should have greater access, because these movies are streamed now this year, as opposed to going to the theater to see them.
And speaking of streaming, we're going to get Coming to America.
March 5th.
March 5. I can't wait. I heard Stephen talking about it, and I'm mad at Stephen too. How the hell can you be in Mexico for 3 weeks on the beach every time you come on? That's too much fun. It's against the law to have that much fun.
Well, I think we should all aspire to be Stephen Hill. It's, as we like to say around our group, it's good to be the Stephen Hill. It really is. Just like we say it's good to be George Wallace, because pretty good lives being lived there.
Well, I'm enjoying life. I really am. So are we getting my guy through? Mr. Bubba Knight, one of the PIP. He's the only PIP. Can
you let our producers produce?
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So
producers.
They're working feverishly to make this happen. George, wanted to talk to you about this situation in Georgia.
Georgia, I knew you was gonna go there. Everything is out of Georgia these days. It's terrible, isn't it?
Well, no, it's not terrible. It's awesome that Stacey Abrams is still on the case with her Fair Fight Action organization.
Yeah.
The Georgia State Legislature is moving forward in trying to prevent the vote, access to the vote, making it easier for folks to vote, especially for Black folks. And Fair Fight Action is there under the tutelage of the leadership of Stacey Abrams, and saying that they're going to fight it. And they have a multi-million-dollar ad campaign underway, and they are telling people that this this Republican legislation to restrict absentee voting could harm Republicans as much as they are hoping that it will harm Democrats. And in the Tuesday kickoff, they warned them that Georgians are going to have longer lines and new threats to their identity theft. And Georgia Republicans have approved a measure requiring more identification for absentee voting. They'll be required to provide the driver's license number, a state ID number, or a copy of the photo ID when asking for the absentee ballots, and other things. But this is one of the first things that they had in committee that they are trying to get across.
And look how smart Stacey Abrams is. She came back and says it's just as important for the Republicans as it is for us.
Yeah, and telling people.
Yeah.
So this is a discussion that I had on the Willie Moore Jr. show today with producer Ahmed. What do you think is next for Stacey Abrams? Because she's bigger than the offices she may be seeking. You know what I mean?
Sybil, I know exactly what you mean. Where does she go from here? I mean, if she becomes governor, I guess that's where she can go now.
That's really dimming her, and I know it's for the good of the people, but it's dimming her rise to stardom by being governor. And I'm not saying anything against the state of Georgia, but losing it could have been the greatest thing for her in terms of her ascension in politics.
Losing was the greatest thing for all of us, and then putting Fair Fight together and making that happen, and getting all these people registered to vote. It was the greatest thing that happened to us. Had she lost and just walked away, we may not have these two gentlemen in the Senate right now. She just did a wonderful job. She, and also the Black Lives Matter, Black Voters Matter, everybody. I wonder what Donald Trump is thinking, all these black ladies he was knocking that are in charge right now.
You know what? He's probably very frustrated, because in knowing how much he hates Black women.
And they're everywhere.
And they are everywhere. And they're kicking his butt every chance they get, right?
And New York City is kicking his ass again, too.
Letitia James is the Attorney General of New York, of the state.
What did the Supreme Court today say? Oh yeah, let them have them papers. Let them look.
Yeah, send your taxes in, and they got his taxes sent to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
Cyrus Vance out of Georgia too. Out of Georgia also. So.
Yes, son of Cyrus.
Atlanta, Georgia. What's the lady name in Atlanta? She's gonna get his ass too.
It is.
That's her.
That's it. It's the DA. It's the
district
attorney.
Is it right on the tip of your tongue? Stick your tongue.
Yeah, it's Fani Willis.
Yes. And these black ladies gonna kick Trump's ass, and that's so wonderful. I like it.
Yeah.
She treated black ladies so badly, so they can get it now.
Look at this other thing, though. Do you think that Raphael Warnock is a placeholder for Stacey Abrams, and so he'll be there until 2022, He'll
Yes.
step aside for her to run as senator against whoever, and she could easily beat, just like Warnock beat, but she could easily beat any of the Republicans that are coming up in order to keep the state blue.
Ooh, that's boy, somebody be thinking. Oh my goodness, somebody be thinking, because it's going to be what's her name, Kelly Loeffler. She's going to try to run against him.
She's talking about it. David Perdue has dropped out.
He's dropped out because I think
yeah.
they made a deal. They must have made a deal that, listen, you let me run, I'll do this. And Kelly, they're going to be in trouble because of right now they're making money on COVIDs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what the whole thing was about. They put their money into the stock market to make money off COVIDs. But that's 2 years from now, and it's Georgia. But I think whatever Stacey has proposed and made happen, I think it doesn't matter what they do, we're going to win. The black voters are going to be out because we now know black votes do matter.
Right. Right.
So, but
hello, Latasha Brown and Cliff Albright, by the way. Black voters do matter. So that is a thought. That's been a conversation, and I don't know how people in Georgia feel about that. And I'm not trying to give Reverend Warnock's job away. I'm just, just in terms of conversation and the what ifs and things like that.
What if? That's a good thought, though. So, well, that's a very good thought, and let her go there, and maybe then he can run for governor.
Maybe he can run against. Oh boy, yeah.
He's probably going like, no, I'm staying senator.
right.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be good for me. It's going to be good for Georgia because Georgia has it going on, and people are moving to Georgia like crazy, especially us. But not only blacks are moving here, but the young white kids, hip kids, people from everywhere moving here to Georgia, and it's going to be good in 2000.
Look at John Ossoff. Look at him, becoming a son of Georgia.
33 years old. He is a Georgian. Yeah, he's representing Georgia. 33
and he
years
cannot
old.
even run for president right now. That's how young he is. So.
That's how smart he might be. He will be ready to run when it's time for him to run.
Yeah, when it's time. Absolutely.
Ooh, that's gonna be big, right? A Jewish guy running for president?
Yeah. It
could happen.
It very well could happen. Now that we with this president, we only have our second Catholic president.
Is that right? Kennedy and him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So America's making progress. We are making progress.
And with the second gentleman, Vice President Harris's husband, the first Jewish member of a high-ranking family in.
What do we call him? The second man?
Second gentleman.
Second gentleman. Okay.
We talked about the Donald Trump being forced to turn his taxes in, and they supposedly did that today.
Trump going to jail. Trump going to jail. Yes, he is. He's going for taxes everywhere. He's going to jail.
The taxes were sent over today, and so we'll see what happens there. Coronavirus update. We're still talking about that, George, and recent data. Now, this is really distressing. How students are suffering as a result of in-home learning.
Virtual classes, yeah. Well, they're not socializing, and you
no, it's not even the socialization. They're suffering in terms of the gaps that they are experiencing in the learning process. Black and Hispanic students are bearing the brunt of learning loss that may be felt for decades. If the school closures continue through this year, students will lose 9 months of math learning. Students of color will see a loss of 11 months or 12 months compared to the 7 months or 8 months for white students. That's
well, that takes us back into the internet, online, and services in the homes also, right? Some of the kids don't have the broadband, and even if they had the broadband, some of the parents are not savvy enough to hook them up. It's going to be tough. I can't imagine being out of school. Just my social skills, my learning and interacting with each other, and cheating off somebody else's paper. Did you ever cheat off people's paper? When I got my glasses, when I used to take a test, if I went like this, I was across the way. I was across the way on somebody else's paper.
George, are you saying you cheated?
I'm not gonna lie. I straight up cheated through college. I just cheated through college in marketing. I was one of the smartest people at the University of Akron in marketing, and I would help a lot of people out. I went in with 5 different colored pencils, and I would sit down front. I would sit down front, 5 different colored pencils. If the answer was A, I would hold up a white pencil. If it was B, I would hold up a red pencil. If it were, can I go to jail for doing that now?
I think that the statute of limitations is up on your college years.
But I would hold up a different color pen, pencil, and help the people out, my friends in the back of the room. And then sometimes I said, okay, I think they might be catching on with the pencil. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to wiggle my ears. So if I go one time like that, that's A. If I go like that twice, that's B. That's 2 times is C. Here's some nut in the back. How many times he move his ears, man? How many times? So yeah.
So you weren't cheating. You were helping others to cheat.
Oh, what? Well, let's make it clear now. They were helping me too. Like if you go to physics and Western civilization, I was not that good. So they helped me also. You know, we were.
Did you help them and were you good in math?
Quantitative methods, not really good. What would you call statistics?
Statistics.
Yeah, I wish I could go back to. Yeah, I could go back to school and do it again. College was pretty. I was working at the time and I was going to church too much. I would love to go back to school and redo it again.
You were working and going to church too much?
I went to church. We were at church at 11 o'clock midnight, and I could have done better had I not been in church so much. I don't know about you coming up in a.
That's what you told your parents?
Well, no, I was out of school then. I was in college. My parents, my mom died at 16 and my dad died at 18. So I was in Ohio, and I was living with a family, and so we were embedded in the church, and that's all we did is we went to Sunday school, morning service, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Come back.
I've never, George, heard a college student say that. Unless they went to someplace like Brigham Young or to a Baptist university or something like that. I've never heard a college student, especially in the time where you were going, where there was so much social activity and social justice action.
It wasn't that much. When I got to University of Akron, there were 20,000 students there, and only 200 of us were Black.
But you were right down the street from Kent State, right?
I was 30 minutes from Kent State, 20 minutes from Kent State. Yeah, the same numbers were over there. And then that's when the influx of kids came in, the Black kids came in. They just brought them down from Cleveland to Akron U and brought them down to Kent State. But I was not a good student. I would love to go back to college. And because
George, you could have been doing that this year.
I could have been, and somebody told me I could teach the class. But I would like to go back and learn a lot more history, a lot of things I didn't learn. And I listened to people like Stephen Hill, and I just listened to them. And because the diction is so good, I missed out on the diction. Like I told you,
George, you speak like nobody else. I don't think your diction needs any work.
Listen to me. I had an instructor named Mr. Aloysius Misko. He taught us in business, you're going to make a lot of money. In business, you can make a lot of money. Never speak where people understand you. Always speak where they never misunderstand you. Make it as clear as possible. Forget the big words. Make it as clear as possible. And I took that heed, and that's all I do. But I hear people now, like weird new words right now that I was not in my head. Insurrection. I had to look up insurrection. And a lot of words I have to look up.
Did you think a blue pill was needed for that?
I took the I took the wrong pill, and that's I took a blue pill. I was trying to take Prevagen. Well, that's blue too. So, I was taking Prevagen, that's blue too. So I got them mixed up every now and then. And if yoga is listening, that's when the little heads start thinking for the big head. You know what I'm saying? The little head started thinking for the big head, but I enjoyed going to school.
And then you forgot why you were there. So you're like.
And I used to fall, and I had night classes. I would fall asleep in night class. I was really not good. I was not good. I'd like to go back to school and do it again.
I really wish we could make that happen for you.
Somebody told me, why not do it?
Right.
I'm talking about maybe even around the 10th grade too, because there's so much, what's going on
so
right now.
So you want to go back to high school and college?
Yeah. There's so much going on in Black history right now that I really would like to catch up on. And I don't know about a lot of people.
But George, you could really teach it because you live so much of it that has gone through our
I was doing radio here in Atlanta. I was doing radio here in Atlanta today, and I was telling people about the Black history. There's a lot of good Black history in Atlanta. I don't know why so much come out of Atlanta, but the largest mall in the Southeast, which is known as Lenox Square in Atlanta, you've probably been there. Mm-hmm. That used to be a Black neighborhood. It was called Johnsontown. When I was a kid, I was the first day
And we lost George. Okay, he'll come back and continue that little known Black history fact about Lenox Mall. If not, J. Anthony Brown can tell us, because I know he's been to a mall or two and he lived in Atlanta too. And maybe Myra J will call in and we can get Myra J on and she can tell us about the history of Atlanta today, as well as how her shot went today.
Myra
Hey,
J?
George. Okay, I can't hear you.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
George, audio.
I am here. My audio is not good.
Nope. You do? Okay, so it's me.
Hello, everybody.
George?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you back?
My plug is coming out.
Your plug is coming
tell
out.
My plug was coming out. George, tell us about Lenox Mall.
That was the Black neighborhood. It was called
Johnsontown.
Johnsontown. If you were to go there today, there's streets on Peachtree Street, and it was an open air mall. And because this is called the rich, all the white people live, except 1 mile up the street, there was a little Black neighborhood called Linwood Park. I'm George Wallace from Linwood Park. About 500 homes in this neighborhood, and so we grew up in Atlanta. History in Atlanta.
And you grew up in that neighborhood?
Yes, I'm across the street from where I grew up. I'm 1 mile from where I grew up, Linwood Park.
Wow.
And I'm Phipps Plaza is the mall that I live across from now. Yeah, but living in Atlanta, grew up with Dr. King preaching down at Ebenezer, and I grew up with nothing but Black doctors and Black dentists, and I grew up with the Negro National Anthem. And when I got to college in Ohio, they knew nothing about it. They never heard of it. They never heard of Black History Week. It used to be a week, then they made it a month. And so I would like to go back to school and learn more about Black history. There's a group out right now starting, and it's cartoons teaching a new way of teaching Black history. It's called Our Heroes Rock. And I think I sent that to you today. If you get a chance, take a look at that. And it is awesome. And it's making young kids want to learn about not just very famous people, but some people that just do things like George Wallace, just comedian that also broke history in Las Vegas. So there's so much to learn about new Black history, not just all of the Frederick
and
Douglass.
It's a great teaching tool, as you say. One of my favorites is the I hate to call it cartoon series, but the animated story,
that's a better word, Sybil. That's a better word.
Of John Lewis had in his books called March, parts 1, 2, and 3. And a young man that just got so excited in reading about the life of John Lewis as a result of those books.
Yeah, if you go online and look up Our Heroes Rock, you're going to be very surprised. And one of the leaders is one of the professional wrestlers from the WWE.
Yeah.
And it is so awesome. So try to go online and do that and learn about history, your Black history, and going back to Atlanta, so much is happening here. It has happened here.
And may I also say, you can also go to the What You Need to Know newsletter every day, and we have a little known Black history fact.
And you will be informed and you will be empowered, because
Sybil,
what you need to know, Sybil has it. Sybil knows more than anybody. And speaking of, yesterday, you were talking about helping Black people out. Can I throw in a little thing? We got a new soul food restaurant in Atlanta. It's called the Peach Cobbler Cafe. They don't have cooks there. They got chefs. So if you go Peach Cobbler Cafe, 2221, when you come to Atlanta, it's a must. They got oxtails in there, but let me tell you something. It's $38 for oxtails. Black people are not used to paying these kind of prices.
That's true.
Does that sound like a lot, Sybil? Well, let me tell you, there's so much meat there. When you buy a steak at Chops or Brad Rathensberg, that steak could be $75. It's the same. It's the same. Come from the same cow's ass. Both they're less than 10 feet from each other. It's called the Peach Cobbler Cafe in Atlanta, Georgia, 2221 Peachtree. And the Peach Cobbler, they say it's the
George,
best.
I didn't know you were doing ads for people these days.
We have to give back sometime, like you guys are talking about to local businesses. It's making history in Atlanta.
Cafe.
Yeah.
Okay, you're making me hungry. So,
but the Peach Cobbler are made of real peaches, Georgia peaches. I just want you to know
as opposed to,
most peaches come out of a can. These are fresh.
Oh no, not good peach cobbler. No. George, let's talk about something serious. This is a story that we've been covering for a while, and this has come to a sad end, at least as far as criminal court is concerned. This goes to to show you how some things, the more things change, the more they remain the same, both in the treatment of Black people and how cops get off on these cases or are acquitted, I should say.
So many directions.
In Rochester, I'm sorry?
So many different directions you could go. You can go to Rochester, you can go to Texas. It just doesn't stop, does it?
Yeah, exactly. So this is Rochester, New York, and this happened. A young Black man, 41 years old, who was suffering from a mental health episode, visiting his brother in Rochester. He's originally from, the family was from Chicago. Daniel Prude was his name. He came to town to visit his brother as a getaway. You know, his family thought maybe a change of location would help him. And so he had started to have this mental episode, and he left the brother's house, started taking off his clothes as he's running down the street, ripping off his clothes and spitting at people. And the police were called, and they came upon him. They tried to get him to calm down, they said. And as they had him, they in their effort, I guess, to get some control over the situation, they wrestled him to the ground. He's naked. It's in wintertime.
Yes.
In Rochester, New York. They handcuff him to the ground, and he's telling them that he has coronavirus. So they put a spit hood on him. They bring him down to the ground fully and if this sounds, don't stop me because it sounds familiar, but you know, one of the cops has his knee in this man's face, keeping him to the ground still with the spit hood on. He was suffocated.
Yes.
They took him to the hospital. And his body was taken off of life support a week later.
Well, I don't know about you, Sybil. I am just sick and tired of it. All my life, this has been happening, and every week it happened. I did say every week, didn't I? Every week we get a new case of police brutality, how they treat Black people, and I'm just sick and tired of it. And I hope we do something. Now we're in charge here in DC.
Well, George, you would think so, because the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, said that, and it's a part of the law, that they follow up on these cases. She said they presented the very best case they possibly could, and the grand jury acquitted these 7 cops.
Let's go back to the grand jury. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all you Black people out there, I don't know whether it's in every state, but in the state of Nevada, the law says you must have a quarter of the jury be your peers. So if you're sitting there with your lawyer, you help choose the jurors. Make sure.
Is that true for the grand jury, though?
It should be everywhere.
No, I'm not sure about the grand. That's why I'm asking. I know about your juries, but I'm talking about leading up to the trial, the grand jurors. I'm not sure about that, George.
Well, it should be.
Okay.
That should be too, because that's why it's always ruled against us. Because there's always white people against us, and they think the white jurors are the same thing as the white cops. They're all hanging together, same people.
We have some video on this, George. Let's take a look. Oh goodness. Okay.
We have technical difficulties. It's
no,
Thursday.
It's not technical.
We're already drinking on Friday. That's what it is.
It's a communications issue. Okay. It's a communications issue. Okay, George. So you're talking about the more things change and the more they stay the same. And this took place just a couple of weeks ago, about 10 days ago, in Plano, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. A young Black man, 18 years old, walking home from work. Hit it.
Sir, you need to talk to us, okay? Sir.
I'm good, bro.
Can you calm down? All right. Sir.
Don't touch me.
Sir, look, we just want to talk to you. All right?
Good. I'm on the way home. I'm straight.
Okay.
Where the fuck I'm going?
Okay, but you're walking in the middle of the road.
All right. I understand that. My bad. I'm not in the middle of the road. So I want.
We just trying to figure out where you're going.
Home. I just said that.
Ooh.
Oh, you okay, dude?
Watch out, man.
Where's home at?
Do you want us to just give you a ride?
No, I'm good. I do this every night, literally. I'm straight.
Okay. You ain't cold or nothing?
No.
With that cheap shirt on?
I said that. I'm good.
What's your name, man?
Man.
Huh?
I don't know.
You don't know? Can you just stop and talk to us for a minute?
Bro.
Do you mind? Do you mind just talking to us for a minute? Just talk to us for a minute. Just talk to us for a minute.
I ain't gonna put my hand on a female. Please don't touch me.
Okay.
Though.
I'm just trying to get your attention, okay? We're just trying to make sure you're okay.
Don't touch me.
We're trying to make sure you're okay. We're trying to make sure. Sir.
No, wait.
We're trying.
No, wait.
We're doing an investigation.
I don't care. I'm going home.
You are officially detained.
No.
Yes,
Sir.
yes you are.
Bro.
Stop.
Stop.
Just relax.
Just relax, all right?
Just relax.
We're just trying to talk
But
to
I
you.
got an anger problem. Please get off me. Y'all not, no.
Stop.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch you.
Yeah, you didn't.
Stop.
Put your hands behind your back now. You are not free to go.
Why?
The next thing you do is going to be get a charge right now.
For what?
Because you're pushing on an officer.
I'm not pushing. How am I pushing on you?
You're actually resisting, dude. It's resisting arrest or detention. Give us the channel.
Please just let me go.
No.
My house is literally right there.
Can you just tell us the address?
Wait.
What a customer.
I'm trying to.
Please just let me go.
Wow, you're really making this.
That's flat out bullshit. You see what happened there? Just flat out bullshit. The boy's bothering. Nobody's walking in the street. Why? It's icy on the sidewalks. He said
You
he's
can't
walking
get through
home.
on the sidewalk. It's snowing.
And then and they got nothing against him. Why are you stopping him? Why are you following him? Somebody called and said that there was some trouble somewhere, which was not
Somebody
true.
was stumbling down the street or whatever.
Stumbling down the street in the snow. And you know what pisses me off, Sybil? I hate to watch things like this, but these sons of bitches, they're gonna get off too. And it happens every week over and over and over again. And they're pissing me off. And guess what? We'll look at another film next week. Same thing.
The charges were subsequently dropped. He did spend a night in jail. And as he said, if you could hear him, as he said, I live literally across the street.
I'm going home. What do you want? Why are you stopping me? You have no cause. We just want to know why do you need to know his name if he says I live across the street? He hasn't done anything.
And the thing is, the mayor of Plano is the first Black mayor there. And he says that we react the way we do to them because people sworn to, this is young Mr. Reese. We react the way we do because people sworn to protect. We don't feel protected by them at all. And the mayor is Harry LaRose-Chillier, the first Black mayor of Plano, Texas, said we can all do better in strengthening the relationship between police and the African-American community. That is an understatement, Mr. Mayor.
That's his job,
is
to
an
go and
understatement.
make sure that doesn't happen again. Stop bothering these kids and profiling kids for no reason at all. The kid's 16 years old, on his way home. What you should do is give him a coat.
Right. Exactly. Put your coat on him and say, let's walk you home. Okay.
I don't know about anybody else, but I just get pissed when I see that, just because I grew up with policemen. I just every time I see a policeman to this day, he could be my cousin. I'm going, he ain't right. See, that's my thought. He ain't right. Yeah, because they do so much bad stuff. And then some of the Black guys, they became powerful too. Look what happened in Atlanta at that riot night. They just go, I'm in charge. I got a badge. And it seems like all of these guys take these jobs, not all of them. Excuse me, some good policemen out there, okay? But a lot of people take it for authority. And look what's happening in the police divisions now. How many people are racist? Look what happened in Washington, D.C. They're in the departments. KKK members. In the department.
Those that work what was it? The story that came out this week that one of the men arrested in the insurrection in Washington D.C. was a police officer in the New York Police Department, and he's the one that they said beat this Black policeman there at the Capitol, like he stole something. And it's just
27.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
27 of the people that broke into the Capitol insurrection, they were part of the military.
That's what they're finding, and that's just in this part of the investigation. They haven't filled it all out yet. They haven't completed.
So once again, it's the whole systemic thing from the military coming through life, everything, and
to the police department. Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
The streets.
So now that pisses me off, and now.
So that's the story we're going to have in tomorrow's What You Need to Know newsletter. As a part
Don't you feel sorry for this kid? This kid will never ever forget that.
He's traumatized, and just like with we just had a story about Elijah McClain, the young man who was killed in Colorado,
Yes.
who was autistic or on the spectrum. And told them that he didn't like to be touched and this sort of thing. And they gave him a drug. Yes. They gave him ketamine to relax him, and they killed him. They killed him.
It just doesn't stop, and it's always us.
And Daniel Prude, that we were talking about in Rochester, the coroner's report said it was homicide by strangulation, and they still got off.
Still got off, and it happens over and over again. And I'm sick and tired of it. What is Miss Fanny
sick and tired of being
black people being mistreated just for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I think you would think police
Arbery's mom.
They
haven't even started the criminal charges against the three men that led to the murder that murdered Ahmaud Arbery. But his family, his mom, on the anniversary of the 1 year since his murder, the family has filed a federal lawsuit for millions of dollars, I hope, in against these three people, as well as the police department and two prosecutors who enabled these men to do what they did. And I know it just seems it's
once again, they were former police officers.
yeah, and called it a citizen's arrest.
Yes, we got to get rid of that.
Sounding like something out of Andy Griffin. We used to laugh about citizen's arrest. That's what they were doing, and that's what they called themselves doing. Acting as a citizen. So.
Well, I hope we can do something while we're in office and straighten these laws out. Is it the George Floyd? Is it the George Floyd?
Yeah. That they're working to pass.
But don't you think white police officers should know right now that if you approach a black kid is not doing anything, don't be too harsh?
No, apparently it's not. George, this was days ago.
I'm talking about in the last 3 years.
No.
Just take it down a level.
H2O ICE says enough is enough. The over-policing of people of color must end. We must vote for new leadership to change the laws and legislation.
And that starts locally. That starts locally. So that's what's happening in Georgia right now with the voting. We got all of these old Republicans in office from Georgia. That's why they don't want the voting. They want you to go in with so much ID. That's going to stop people.
Yeah.
Why not?
Even in the city of Chicago, we've had black mayors. How many black mayors have we had? I say we, like I still live there, but it's still my hometown.
That's your town.
And the black mayor is trying to look for answers and answer some questions about why a black woman in her own apartment was handcuffed and held for like a half hour last year year before last now, because they got to the wrong apartment. They broke into the wrong apartment, a 50-year-old black woman. And I can tell you as one, standing there naked in my apartment and the kind of just horrific feelings. And she's telling them she's a social worker. They got the wrong place. And the cameras are still rolling, and they're.
She stood there naked for 20 minutes. She was naked for 20 minutes
before someone finally put a blanket on her shoulder.
Once again, that's bullshit, and it makes me angry when I say that. That's why we got to vote locally, and get some young black people in office there. So your votes do matter.
Sean King does a really great job of pointing out the local elections, and especially in terms of the district attorneys' races and things like that. Those and how the charges are made. We have some wonderful DAs like Marilyn Mosby in Baltimore, who has gotten attacked every which way but the right way, and supported for what she has done in that city. Also in St. Louis, there's a young woman who is the DA who has just gotten up real bad too, regarding the cases. And so we will continue to follow his lead and bring attention to these cases as we do. And when we brought Coy on to talk about the social justice, we were talking about it because it's just become such a part of us and we don't think about it. But every day there's a new story, George.
That's every day, and that
or the story to bring you up to date on the story. It's just unbelievable.
This time next week we'll have a new case. But I'm just thinking, it seems as though that the white officers should know by now. Let's, what do you call it, de-escalate this situation?
Right. Well, that's a part of what they call themselves doing, but apparently not.
Let me ask you, when you saw that clip, did you see any reason for detaining the boy? He's 16. There's no crime been committed. Nothing. He's just on his way home.
And what they did was push him in order to make something, to make a charge.
Exactly.
You know? And that's the way they do it. And if he's not doing it, you make him. You push up on him and say that he's resisting, or you work your actions. You make actions in such a way that you anchor him in order to bring a charge.
Well, I hope he gets a real good lawyer. I hope he gets a real good lawyer. Maybe that's one of those guys, Morgan and Morgan, one of those Morgan guys that's all over the world. Morgan and Morgan, one of those Morgans, because they're the largest. Maybe they can help him get well,
I hope
20,
that our
30
friend Lee
million.
Merritt, who is in the Dallas, Texas area and has handled a lot of these cases.
Is that right?
Unfortunately, a lot of people have died and we've seen, but I hope that Lee Merritt and others like him are on the case. A couple of things, George, before we go. Bubba Knight could not connect, so we will invite him back again.
Let's do that, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a lot of questions for Bubba. He grew up from Atlanta also, and so many people want to know about the Pips and Gladys Knight, because when we lived in Atlanta when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money, and we knew about Bubba because we could only watch the Pips. We couldn't afford it.
You couldn't watch Gladys.
I didn't know that was a Gladys Knight until I got to Vegas.
And how long did you work with them, George? Just out of curiosity.
I worked with them. They were there for 6 years. I was there for 10 years. And they did the first show at 7:30, and I did the 10 o'clock show.
Wow.
And I took on a major task to do the 10 o'clock show. Nobody wanted to do at the time. I said, you know what? I'll do that. I'll own the show. I'll do the marketing. Let me handle everything. And they were just fun to be with. And her mom was living at the time, and we'd be in and out of each other's dressing room. Gladys Knight, what a beautiful lady she is. And Bubba, just a great gentleman. When we do get him back, there'll be a lot of questions for him.
Okay, we will do that. And you got to love a guy named Bubba.
Jay want to know what Bubba do.
George, we want to wish a happy birthday to Shanta Brown, a part of our YouTube family. Happy birthday, Shanta.
Shanta, yeah, she's always there.
Yes, and many, many more. We appreciate you and welcome more celebrations with you. And we'll leave you with Yogi's Jewels. Don't just survive. This is for you, Shanta. Don't just survive, but thrive.
That means
and that's
be
for you
what
too,
you want to be. Be what you want to be. Do what you want to do and have what you want to have. This is Reverend Ike. Just be the best you can be. Whatever you can do, just be the best you can be. Tonight was a little tough with the police brutality, but we did what we do.
And we did, and we did it and did it well. Don't forget about this book. Number 2 is coming out. And
Get this book at GeorgeWallace.net, GeorgeWallace.com, Bo, Twit, and whatnot. And put a little laughter in your life. Keep laughing. When you stop laughing, you stop living, okay? It's in the Bible. Laughter is healing for the soul.
That's right. Thank you so much, George Wallace. We close out with this message to everybody. We'll see you Monday. Please be safe, be careful, and
let's go get a chicken sandwich. Let's get a chicken sandwich. Go to churches, get a chicken sandwich. Popeyes, chicken sandwich. Everybody's selling chicken.
He can tell you about their first dance, but he can't remember my name. I'm his daughter.
Half of all black families are impacted by Alzheimer's, but we don't know why. At HSC, we are investing in a new research study to find solutions for your family. To join the research study, visit blackalzbrainstudy.com or call 817-735-2963.